Good morning, everyone. This is Professor Todd Giles, Art 170, Art Appreciation. In this video, we'll be going over texture. Hopefully this will not be as heavy as some of the prior videos, but there's just a few things that we really need to hit to make sure you're understanding the concept of describing texture. We'll continue with the El Greco and the Michelangelo Pietas. One of the reasons I picked these two pieces of artwork is that one is two-dimensional, one is three-dimensional, which is the first thing that you need to decide about your piece of artwork. Is it two-dimensional or is it three-dimensional? If it's 2D, across the board, almost every piece of artwork that is two-dimensional has implied or illusionary surfaces or texture. We are not talking about the actual surface of a painting. Now, there are paintings where an artist will use what we call an impasto technique, where the paint is laid on very thick. There is a little bit of a three-dimensionalness to it. The only time that would be discussed is if the artist intended that to be part of their artwork. Normally, a painting is two-dimensional. Again, it is not the surface of the painting that we care about here or that we will describe. The other type of art is three-dimensional, and it has a real or a literal or a tactile surface to it where there is real texture. If you were able to touch the artwork, and you're not supposed to touch the artwork at the museum, you would be able to feel smoothness or roughness, coldness, warmth, that the artist intended. And it doesn't matter which type of artwork we're looking at, two-dimensional or three-dimensional. The textures have qualities. These are descriptive words that you come up with. There is no set list that you pick from. Smooth, rough, soft, hard, bumpy, jagged, sharp, fuzzy, whatever you want here. This is just a list that I've come up with off the top of my head of qualities that I know are exhibited in the artwork that we'll see during this class. As we look at the El Greco, things that we see texture-wise, it's two-dimensional. That means that all of the textures are implied. We cannot actually feel them. What are the qualities of those surfaces within that imagined space? Then we have the cloth, and I would say that most of it is soft. The coarseness of the beard of St. John and of Jesus. We have the hair of Mary Magdalene, that it would be soft. Even the hair of Christ looks soft as Mary's hand is holding his head up. There's skin of Christ, which is soft but rippled, especially across his stomach and his chest. And then we have the wood of the vertical beam of the cross, which is really a counterpoint, and it would be rough. There are color variations right beside each other that it would be rough. And then if we look down at the lower left, the sharpness of the thorns. And as we look at the Michelangelo, being three-dimensional, all the surfaces are literal. They are real. We've got the lower left, the cragginess of the rock. We have Mary's cloak that would be soft. We can see that it looks like it might have some heaviness to it in these heavy folds. The cloth across Christ looks like it's much more soft. And then the headdress of Mary looks like it is very floppy and soft, pliable. We don't see Mary's hair, but we see Christ's hair, and it does look soft. This is not a very good view of it, but when you can see it from the side, there are little curls and long curls. It does look like if you were to touch, that it would crinkle down and the pressure of your fingers would move the hair quite easily. The skin nearly everywhere on the body of Christ is smooth. It is polished, it's reflective, but it's very, very, very smooth. Mary's skin actually is close to the same texture, just maybe a slightly bit rougher. And then if we look to the lower right, there's actually a little stump to help support the leg of Christ, and it would be rough, that it looks like a piece of wood with rough bark on top of it. And there we are looking at texture. It's pretty straightforward. All we really have to remember is the surface of the painting is not the surface or the texture that we're talking about. If you have questions, please contact me and I'll get right back with you and we can talk about this. Have a great day. Bye.